In the distant past, Earth encountered many challenges. Struck by asteroids, collided with other planets, and even froze over multiple times. It's amazing that our blue planet survived these events. To understand how Earth made it through, we must look back to its beginning, more than 4.5 billion years ago. Our solar system began forming from a thick cloud of gas and dust. As this cloud collapsed, it created a spinning disk of material. This disk heated up until hydrogen turned into helium, creating our sun. As the sun formed, small clusters of material on the outer edges of the disk gathered together. These clusters became the planets and moons in our solar system. The ones closer to the sun were rocky and formed the inner planets like Earth and Mars. In the early stages, Earth was a volcanic world, releasing gases like hydrogen sulfide, methane, and carbon dioxide. These gases formed Earth's first atmosphere. Earth was constantly bombarded by asteroids and comets. Around 4.5 billion years ago, a planet the size of Mars, called Theia, collided with Earth. This massive impact sent debris into Earth's orbit, which later formed the Moon. At first, Earth had no oceans. Water existed only as gas. But around 3.8 billion years ago, Earth cooled enough for water to become liquid. The first oceans formed, making Earth a water world. Water is essential for life. So it was during this time that life first appeared, about 3.7 billion years ago. The first life forms were microscopic organisms. It took nearly another billion years for these organisms to start changing the planet. Earth didn't stay a water world for long. Soon, the first continents began to rise from the oceans. These early land masses were called cratons. As more land emerged, the first supercontinent, Valbera, formed. It wasn't very large, possibly smaller than Australia. Around 2.4 billion years ago, cyanobacteria evolved to become the first organisms on Earth to produce oxygen. This transformed the atmosphere, making it more suitable for other life. With all the new oxygen, Earth's atmosphere had less carbon dioxide, which caused temperatures to drop and led to Earth's first ice age. As the atmosphere continued to change, the continents also shifted. They broke apart and came together again to form the supercontinent Rodinia, which was likely the largest supercontinent to ever cover Earth. During this time, life became more complex. Eventually, Rodinia split apart and a new supercontinent, Pannotia, formed. Between 540 and 485 million years ago, life experienced an explosion of diversity in what is called the Cambrian explosion. Animals developed hard body parts like shells and spines. One of the most famous creatures from this time was the trilobite, which looked almost alien. Around 440 million years ago, the climate changed and ocean temperatures fluctuated, leading to the first mass extinction event, the Ordovician-Silurian extinction. Many species were wiped out, but this cleared the way for new ecosystems to form. From 420 to 350 million years ago, the first trees appeared and animals began to move onto land. About 250 million years ago, the supercontinent Pangaea formed. Sadly, this era also saw Earth's greatest mass extinction event, the Great Dying. Enormous amounts of greenhouse gases and rapid global warming caused the extinction of about 90% of all species. However, this event allowed for the evolution of new species. Around 240 to 230 million years ago, the first dinosaurs emerged. For the next 150 million years, dinosaurs ruled the Earth. Among them was the massive Argentinosaurus, the largest land animal ever. You could have also encountered one of the fiercest predators, the T-Rex. During this time, Pangaea began to break apart, and the continents took the shape we recognize today. Then, about 66 million years ago, an asteroid struck Earth in what is now Mexico. The impact caused enormous damage, sending debris into the atmosphere that blocked out the sun. This drastic change in climate led to the extinction of the dinosaurs. In the aftermath, mammals began to thrive. Around 6 million years ago, the first humans appeared, known as Sahelanthropus. They likely still walked on all fours. By 4 million years ago, early humans started walking upright. A million years later, they developed the first tools, which they used to break things. Around 800,000 years ago, early humans learned to control fire. This allowed them to cook food and stay warm. As their brains evolved, they began to interact with each other and their surroundings in new and creative ways. Between 40,000 and 15,000 years ago, all human species except Homo sapiens went extinct. Around 10,000 years ago, the first farmers appeared. These humans, who had once wandered from place to place, began to settle down and farm. Jumping ahead to around 250 years ago, the Industrial Revolution began. This period saw major technological, social, and cultural changes. Societies that were once based on farming became industrialized and urbanized. Human population growth accelerated. By 1804, the global population reached 1 billion. By 1927, it reached 2 billion. Since the 1960s, the world's population has grown even faster, now exceeding 8 billion. Today, humanity faces a new challenge: climate change. Rising temperatures, sea levels, and the decline of biodiversity threaten the planet's future. We may be on the edge of another mass extinction event unless we change course. But that's a story for another time.